Hey everyone, welcome to the Captain Drone YouTube channel. My name is Steve and today I have something really cool for you. So 3 or 4 years ago, I showed you this version. This version is the ES126 electric screwdriver. You can see the tip over here. Now they have 2 new models, which are better than this one. And well, let me just show you them. So each of the models comes in a kit. So you buy it in a kit now. So inside the kit, you'll get the screwdrivers, some bits, a USB charging cable, some firmware update stuff, and a few other odds and ends. And the 2 electric screwdrivers look like this. They have one that is a budget-friendly one, and it's called the ES555, and the other one is a little bit more expensive, not by much, and it's called the ES666. So I guess in China, 666 means nothing. I know 4 is a bad number in China, means bad luck, but 666 I guess is fine. So for anyone who's wondering, why would I ever buy a tiny little electric screwdriver? Well, I think for a lot of people who have carpal tunnel syndrome or other wrist or joint problems, these are a bonus and they are a lifesaver. However, for people that don't have any issues, it can just be something that's very convenient. Let me explain. So if you're in the RC hobby and you fly RC helicopters, well, you know that you often have to change the blades from damage, or something goes wrong with the swash plate from a crash. It doesn't take much of a crash. There's lots of little hex screws on an RC helicopter, and a lot of times you're replacing components. So having electric screwdrivers just makes it simpler to disassemble and assemble. The same is true if you fly RC planes. If you buy an RC plane, it comes in a box, you have to assemble it, and it has small screws a lot of times and hex bolts and all sorts of things. So if you have an electric screwdriver, it makes the assembly pretty easy, because a lot of times you're holding a part of the plane with one hand and you only have the other hand to use your screwdriver, and it's kind of hard. So if it's electric, you can just hold it and let it go. Then you have the RC car hobby. How many people own RC cars? We change so many parts in RC cars because we modify them all the time. So you're always taking things apart, building things. So electric screwdrivers come in very handy. And then there's the FPV drone hobby. There is nobody out there who flies FPV drones who has not disassembled an FPV drone. Even when you buy them a lot of times, sometimes you order them with a receiver. The receiver's hidden and you can't even bind to it. So you got to take everything apart, put it back, do your binding, put everything back together. It's common in the FPV hobby to modify your quad. So you're always disassembling and assembling things. So electric screwdriver comes in handy. So what I'm going to show you next is what you quickly get in the kits, as well as the 2 electric screwdrivers. You'll see exactly what they do. So check this out. Both the 555 and 666 electric screwdriver versions are available in kit format, which means that you get a pouch, you get some bits, you get a few other odds and ends. And here we have model 666 and here we have model 555. Both models come with a USB charging and firmware update cable. Both models come with a series of bits that are 4 millimeters in size at the hex base. Both models also come with a magnetizer/demagnetizer. Once again, all of this is available in the kit versions of these electric screwdrivers. Now let's take a closer look at the ES555 and the ES666. Physically, both models are constructed out of metal and are almost identical in appearance. What sets the appearance apart is that the 666 model has an OLED display. Both models have LED lights, and both models have a USB-C charge port and firmware update port. Both models secure bits in place using magnets. So then, what are the major differences between these 2 electric screwdrivers? Let's start with the ES555. First we have the power button, followed by the display, followed by the motor rotation buttons. Powering on the unit, you'll see a series of dots. The dots on the right represent how much power remains in the battery. The dots on the left are your torque setting, low, medium, and high. The ES555 has 2 screwdriver modes, fixed and auto. I'll show you fixed first. In fixed mode, the motor only runs as long as you press the button. Once you release the button, the motor stops. In this demo, I'm pressing the button and not releasing it. This allows me to remove the screw. Once I release the button, the motor stops. To tighten the screw, it's the same thing. Press and hold the button in. When the screw reaches the end point, it automatically shuts off. In auto mode, you can press the button and then release it, and the motor keeps on going, as you see here. Watch what happens when I remove the screw. Press the button once, release it, and it just keeps on going. I have to press the button to stop it. The same is true when you want to tighten the screw. However, the screwdriver has an auto stop when the screw is tight. Now we'll take a look at the ES666. On top you have the power button, followed by the OLED display, followed by the motor direction buttons. On the display you see your remaining power, then you see which mode you're in, then you see a graphic representation of what the screwdriver is doing, and finally you see your torque settings. A total of 7 different torque settings can be selected. In addition, you can modify how long it takes for the unit to shut down. You can also select between 3 different screwdriver modes. You can adjust the orientation of the OLED display. You can select if you want the LED lights to go on or off when you're using the screwdriver. You can set the screwdriver's action. You can select the language to English, Chinese, or Russian. And finally, you can see the firmware version of the screwdriver. The ES666 has 3 modes: sensor, fixed, and auto. Let's start with sensor. Sensor's pretty simple. You basically just move the screwdriver in any direction and the motors will turn in that direction. So to remove this screw, I simply rotate the screwdriver counterclockwise. And then turn it clockwise if I wish to tighten the screw. Next we'll look at the fixed mode. In fixed, you have to hold down the button for the motor to turn in either direction. So you select the direction, press in the button. The motor won't stop turning until you release the button. The only time the motor will stop is when you're tightening a screw. When it reaches the end, it will auto shut off. The last mode is auto. Press the button and the motor starts. You can release the button and the motor keeps on going. However, if you place the torque in auto as well, you see there's 2 A's on the screen, you get a different scenario. In other words, when you press the button, the motor starts spinning, but as you spin that screwdriver, you can control how fast it's spinning. So in this example, I can control how fast I'm screwing in the screw. I can go fast or slow just by how I turn my hand. Please note that these screwdrivers are for the RC hobby and not for woodworking. Let me show you. So here's the old 126 model. Can it screw in one of these screws into a piece of pine? Nope, it doesn't even move. It doesn't even turn on. I can't even get it to go. Let's try the 555 model. Let's try this. Can it turn the screw? Well, it's got a lot more torque than that old model. It's pretty decent, but that's as far as I could get it. Now let's try the 666, and you can see that the 666 has the most torque of all the models. But you still can't take that screw and push it all the way into the pine. Alright, so you're back to me. Now I should also mention that these electric screwdrivers come just like they are, or you can get them in the kit. So if you get them in the kit, I think that's the way you should go. You get all the bits and the other components in the case for storing this thing. Now, just in case my coverage of these 2 screwdrivers was not clear enough, let me just compare the 2 of them, because you're probably wondering, well, which one would I buy? So this is the 555 and this is the 666. The 555 has 3 torque gears: low, medium, high. Which is fine for most people, you know, that's fine for me. This one has 7, so you can pick anywhere from next to no torque all the way up to high of 7. The 555 has a smaller battery inside. It's only a 500 milliamp hour battery. I don't know if it's a LiPo battery. Anyway, it's a 500 milliamp hour battery, and this one has a 600 milliamp hour battery. So you would think with the difference, this one would run longer. But amazingly, they both say that if you charge them up fully and you power them on and you just let them run continuously, they'll run for 4 hours. They both have working LED lights, so no difference there. They're both constructed out of metal. They both have the USB-C at the top for charging and firmware updates. The only main difference for physically looking at them is the display. This one has a very basic display, the 555 model. This one has an OLED display on it, so that's why it's a little pricier. And if I didn't mention it already, the 555 only has 2 running modes, so you pick either mode you want it to run in. Whereas this one, the 666, has 3 modes that you can put it in. Now price-wise, between the 555 and the 666, I can only give you the approximate price because I do not know where you live in the world, and where you live in the world and which website you go shop on, you'll find a different price. So let me just give you the approximate prices of these. So if you buy the 555 electric screwdriver, just the screwdriver, nothing else, no bits, nothing in the kit, it's about $25 US. But if you buy the kit version, ta-da, then it's about $29 US. Now, if we go to the 666, if you buy the screwdriver just by itself, and as I mentioned, it's because of that OLED display that the price goes up, it's about $38 US just to get it like this. But if you get it in the kit form, it's only $44 US. So Either case, these are all very inexpensive for what you get and the usage you're going to use them for in the RC hobby. So I'm going to put links to these screwdrivers below. If I find more than one link to them, then go check out each link, because like I say, maybe each different website or store has a different price for these. So just shop around so you find the lowest price. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. If you have questions on either of these screwdrivers, if you're new to electric screwdrivers for the RC hobby, post your questions below and I'll get back to you. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll catch you in a future video with many more cool product reviews. Until then, I say bye!